Hi everybody, it's Summer with PageMaps, and I wanted to show you a couple quick simple tips for working with DXF files and your Silhouette software. Today I've got an open screen here with my Silhouette software, and I've got some files that I chose to work with that Becky designed. So I'm going to open up my files under File, Open, and I save everything on my desktop because I find it's convenient. As you can tell, the system is looking for a studio file, which Becky's designs are DXF files. So I'm going to open up my tab here and select DXF, and Cutting File Summer DXF pops right up, and this is what I'm going to open. So these are the files that I coordinated with my sketch that I chose to work with. When I open these up, they're pretty small, and if I were to cut these images right now at their current size, my Polaroids would have been pretty teeny. So the first thing I want to do is just increase the size. So I'm going to start with my pointer arrow here, and I'm going to start in the upper left-hand corner, going to the bottom right-hand corner, and I'm going to select everything. Now when I do so, I realize that everything I have in this file is not grouped, and I didn't realize that when I first opened up the file. And the way you can tell that is it starts to grab every little component, like it's grabbing the little heart and the insides of each one of those Polaroids. So the first quick tip I want to do is go over to Modify. I'm going to go to Compound Path, and I'm going to make this a compound path. When I click on it now, it's going to select everything, and I want to make this bigger. So I'm going to go down here to the bottom right-hand corner and make all my frames bigger. So just for this exercise, I'm going to leave them so they're kind of hanging off the cut area. But when you were to go print them, you'd have to move them around separately. So I want to play with just this today frame, and to do that, again, what we have to do is now undo what we just did, which is undo making it a compound path. So I'm going to select everything again, and I'm going to go to compound path, and I'm going to release it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my arrow. I'm going to select the today frame, starting at the upper left hand corner, going to the bottom right hand corner. Now this is just selecting the today frame, and I'm going to make that a compound path and now lock everything back in place. So now I can kind of move it around, and it's not going to get separated, whereas the rest of these are loose. So this, if I were to try and grab the whole image, it's all going to be separated. And I don't, then if you try to copy each piece individually and try and put it back together, it's a pain. So I'm going to kind of undo and kind of put everything back to where it was. So back to working with this today frame. I'm going to select it. I'm going to right click, and we're going to copy this, and we're going to copy it into a new drawing. So I'm going to select new drawing. I'm going to go right click, and I'm going to paste. So now I have my today frame separated from the whole group. And now if you wanted all your frames different sizing, I could, select right here and drag it out or drag it in and make my frame bigger or smaller if I wanted. But for my layout, I wanted all my frames to be the exact size. So once I started moving my frames out of the original piece, I didn't change the size. But let's say I wanted to work with the word today. So I'm going to select my image. I'm going to go back to Modify, and I'm going to release the path. Then I wanted to go over here, and I want to select the word, just the word today. So I've got my arrow, and I'm going to go from the upper left-hand corner of the word today down to the bottom right-hand corner. And if you look closely, you can see how it selected each one of the different letters. Now I'm going to move this out of my frame, and I'm going to go back and make it a compound path. When I did that and we select it, you can see now that each one of the pieces is one whole unit. Now I could grab it, make it bigger, and now I have a big word. Maybe I want to use that word as part of my title instead of on the frame. I could also layer this over the frame. I could cut them separately and layer it over the frame if I wanted. It kind of gives you a little bit more options about seeing your cut files in a new light. I think that's kind of fun. So the next thing I want to show you is another quick tip, and I want to take this arrow, and I'm going to move from the upper left-hand corner to the bottom right-hand corner. I'm going to select the entire frame, including the arrow. I want to make it a compound path. I'm going to select it. I'm going to right-click and copy it and put it in a new document here. So I'm going to right click and hit paste. So here's my arrow, and just a quick, really simple thing to do, and I did this on my layout, was I wanted the arrow going the other direction. I used it with the heart frame as well, and I wanted the heart to be on the other side. So to do this is just simply go up to Object, go to Mirror, hit Flip Horizontal, and then cut your file. You can see on one side the arrow is going one direction, on another side the arrow is going another direction. So then going back and looking at all of ours, any of these can be manipulated. You could take the heart out, you could make the heart bigger, you could take any of the words out of the frames, make them bigger, make them smaller. If I wanted to cut more of these on a page, I might select these two together and move them over, and then select all these four together, and let's say move them over. And you can just kind of move them around to get them where you're placed where you want them. And then go ahead and go over to cut, and then cut your files. So I hope that gives you a quick overview of playing around with DXF files and modifying them and making them work for you and what you see as your vision for your scrapbooking page. So thanks for joining me. Bye.